Listen to me carefully, and we'll get over all this stuff after a while and get to rolling, but hear me carefully. I really don't know of a verse in the Bible that says it just like this, that if you don't have the Holy Ghost, you're not saved. Just like that. But I do know one that says it just like this, that we are saved by the renewing of the Holy Ghost. And if you are saved by the renewing, then you got to receive it in order for it to be renewed. But there's too many saints sitting on the pew celebrating something they got 50 years ago without any renewing of the Holy Ghost. You know how we're going to double this church? You know how we're going to impact this world? If everybody that claims the Holy Ghost would get the Holy Ghost, we'd turn our world upside down. And I want to carry that just a little bit further. Anybody that has this Holy Ghost is going to want more of it. And if you get mad because some new convert tries to dance you out in the aisle to help you get more Holy Ghost, I don't know whether you got it or not. If you get upset because some fiery young evangelist puts his hand on your head and you say, I've been here 30 years. Well, if you would act like you got it, he probably wouldn't be palming your head. I said we need revival. I said we need revival. We need revival. Evangelism is the lost being charged and changed. Revival is the saints being charged and changed. Some folks sit around and they judge new converts because they don't change as fast as they think they ought to change. I'd like to ask you that have had the Holy Ghost a long time, how long has it been since you added to your list of convictions? How long has it been since you did one more thing than what you did 30 years ago? Revival is when the saints get charged and when the saints get changed by the moving of the Spirit of God. Let me lay out a case as to why I feel we need revival. We are flourishing in evangelism, but we are withering in revival. When we have full pews and empty prayer rooms, we need revival. When the majority are spectators and the minority are worshipers, we need revival. If worship doesn't go past the front 3 rows, we need revival. The thing that separated us today from Pentecost is I don't think we've ever been in a real Pentecostal service. I dare say we're yet to be in a real Pentecostal service, because the Bible said they were all filled with the Holy Ghost. I wonder what would happen at Landmark '08 if we were to all be filled with the Holy Ghost. If we were all to be filled with the Holy Ghost. You talk about global impact. If we were to all be filled with the Holy Ghost. When the guests compliment and the saints complain, we need revival. I've been in services where 10, 15, 20 get the Holy Ghost. And on the way out the door, some saint says, I need to talk to you. While the guests, this is what's happening today. Folks are coming in our doors that have never been there before, and they sit there with their eyes that big and the hair going up the back of their head, cold chill bumps, and they're saying, my Lord, I've never seen anything like this in my life. I've never felt anything like this in my life. But at the same time, when sinners are impressed and saints are depressed, we need revival. In Acts chapter 6 and verse 1, the Bible said that when the church began to grow, there was a murmuring and a grumbling. I come up with this idea of observation that when the church starts multiplying, it creates murmuring. And when it starts growing, it creates grumbling. And when we complain because the preacher didn't get to preach, but 20 got the Holy Ghost, what is this all about? They may not sing your song and they may not preach your sermon, but if the Spirit is working and lives are changed and people are born again, that's what it's all about. Let me carry that little thought just a little bit more, and we shall depart from it. The Bible said in Matthew 20, 10, and 11, it said, when the first came, they supposed that they should have received more. And they likewise received every man a penny. And when they had received it, they murmured against the goodman of the house. It recently came to my attention that the ones that were there the longest, the ones that were there the longest were the ones that did the murmuring. Now, I'm not preaching evangelism tonight. You're used to that. But our subject tonight is revival. Thank God for 100 receiving the Holy Ghost. But are the saints any different when it's over? As a matter of fact, when we have more to shout about and we do it less, we need revival. If we didn't feel what we feel tonight and have what we have tonight, just to come in this truth proclaiming church that looks like this ought to be enough to get us off that pew and on our seats giving God praise for what He is doing in the church in this hour.